Don't assume silence means no. Welcome to Ask a Recruiter. I'm Isabella, and today I'll walk you through what to do after you leave an interview, how to send a strong thank you note, when and how to follow up, and what recruiters are doing behind the scenes while you wait. First, let's start with follow-up emails. When and what should you send them? A thank you or follow-up email is best sent within 48 hours of your interview. That timing shows professionalism and appreciation without feeling rushed or repetitive. If you had multiple interviewers, one thoughtful message sent to the recruiter asking them to pass along your thanks is perfectly acceptable. We are usually not allowed to share interviewers' contact information, so we encourage you to ask your interviewers directly by the end of your time together if you can connect with them over LinkedIn, for example. If so, you can send them a direct thank you note and stay connected. But please note, and this is very important, any update regarding your recruiting process should be asked directly to your recruiter and not your interviewers. What matters most is clarity and sincerity, not length. A strong thank you note usually includes appreciation for the interviewer's time, one short line reinforcing your interest in the role or team, a brief reference to something specific you discussed. This tells the interviewer you were engaged, prepared, and intentional. What doesn't move the needle? What doesn't impact decisions are overly long emails or messages, repeating your resume, trying to add new qualifications or correct answers, sending multiple follow-ups within a short time. At this stage, interview decisions are based on interview feedback, not follow-up emails. So think of thank you notes as a professionalism signal, not a scoring factor. Hi, Ryan and Cynthia. Thank you again for taking the time to meet with me yesterday. I really enjoyed our conversation and appreciated learning more about the entry-level program manager role and how your team partners across engineering, design, and business. I'm excited about the opportunity to join Microsoft. I especially appreciated hearing your perspectives on how early career PMs learn to bring clarity to ambiguous problem spaces. The example you shared about breaking complex work into clear milestones and trade-offs really stuck with me and made the role feel both challenging and rewarding. Thanks again for such a thoughtful discussion. Best regards, Filippo Lee. Okay, I love that it starts with a thank you, right? And then the candidate, Filippo, highlighted that he enjoyed the conversation and appreciated learning more about the role. So I love that he added the role name over there. So the recruiter knows which process these candidates coming from, because sometimes we're dealing with so many recruiting processes at once. He shows the excitement about the opportunity. And I love how he highlighted how he appreciated hearing about perspectives, and the challenges in the early career PMs world, right? The sentence is a bit long here, but it gives exactly what we need to understand what they enjoyed about the conversation. So I loved how he put together this summary of what was interesting. Thanks again for such a thoughtful discussion. I love that too, and best regards. So that's a professional way to finish up. Something important here, if they have a competing offer or if they are working with a different company at this time, different recruiting processes, that would be great to kind of highlight this to the recruiter so we are aware of other recruiting processes going on in case we need to be aware of any timeline or deadline they might have.
And what would you grade this letter?
I would say letter A. Waiting and next steps. Waiting after interviews is completely normal for internships and early in professional roles where interviews take place in scale mode. Generally, it can take 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes longer, depending on the number of candidates, interviewer availability, and internal reviews. The recruiting team will notify what to expect in terms of timeline, so please pay attention to those instructions and preparation information you can get over email or right before your interviews start. Super important to note, a longer wait does not mean something negative. So when and how to follow up. If you haven't heard back after 7 to 10 business days, it's okay to send a brief, polite check-in. Keep it short and respectful. Remember to include the role you interviewed for. One follow-up is enough unless the recruiter invites more communication. Here's an example of an email. Hi, and you put your name. I wanted to check in and see if there are any updates regarding my interviews for the role. I appreciate your time and look forward to hearing when there's news. Another important point is keep your recruiter informed about other recruiting processes and offers you may have coming up. This doesn't impact the outcome of your process with us. In fact, transparency helps us expedite the process if at all possible. Silence is rarely intentional and never personal in recruiting. Recruiters know waiting is stressful, and if there's any update we can share, we will. No news usually just means the process is still in motion. Let's talk about offers and decisions. How recruiters view timelines. Once an offer is being prepared, timelines become very important on our side. Offers often require internal approvals, compensation reviews, alignment across teams. So even after verbal signal, there can be a short delay before paperwork is ready. Asking questions about offers. It's completely okay and encouraged to ask questions about your offer. Good questions include role expectations, team structure, start date flexibility, location or work model, learning and mentorship opportunities. If we don't know the answer, we will get it for you or align you to someone who can help. Asking questions shows maturity and thoughtfulness, not hesitation. What's okay to negotiate and what's not? For internships and early in profession roles, flexibility can be more limited, but conversations are still welcome. It's generally okay to discuss and clarify start date alignment with school timelines, location or work modality options such as on-site, hybrid, fully remote if applicable, clarifying compensation components, and relocation support if offered. Usually is not negotiable the internship title or level, program-wide pay bands, role scope defined by the program. If something is unclear, ask. If something isn't flexible, your recruiter will explain why. Okay, let's move now to things to cover during negotiations. Before accepting, make sure you understand the compensation and pay schedule, the start and end dates if you are in an internship, location and work modality expectations, any contingencies or deadlines, and next steps after acceptance, like the onboarding process. Your recruiter is there to help you make an informed decision. After the offer extended, you have generally 2 weeks to make your decision about joining Microsoft or not. This process isn't always linear, but every step is intentional. The biggest advice I can give is this: stay professional, stay curious, and don't assume silence means no. Be mindful of timelines and people's time. Thoughtful follow-up goes a long way and shows recruiters you are ready for the workplace. Use this time to explore your options, tighten up your resume and LinkedIn, and keep showing up. If you've got a question, drop it for Ask a Recruiter. You've got this.